Hi and welcome to Dynamic Insights. Thanks for making time to watch the video. And as promised, this third week of the month, we'll be focusing on health and wellness. This is a channel focusing on your personal development, and we want to focus on all the aspects, the critical aspects of your life, health being a very critical piece. And since I'm not an expert, I have invited my husband, Bob, better known as the Nutrivangelist, because he is really convinced about the nutritional bit and has a lot of experience there. So he'll be my guest on every third week to talk about health. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to be here.
Yeah, it's good. It took a bit of convincing, though. He's saying he's happy, but it took a bit of convincing. But I'm glad eventually it has worked out. So, Bob, I think you'll be talking a bit about the pillars of health. So I'll leave most of the talking to you. If I feel there's a question I need to put in, I'll put in.
Okay.
Yeah? So, karibu.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about nutrition. As she mentioned, I am a Nutrivangelist. Now, a Nutrivangelist is someone who preaches about nutrition. I help people to manage their weight, to manage their diabetes, etc., etc. You will be able to remove that.
Yeah.
Okay, check first of all whether so far
it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's okay, but okay, you can begin again if you want. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I can start with welcome.
No.
Okay.
I don't think we need to begin again. As you are saying, we had said we were going to look at the four pillars of health, and maybe at this point it is good to list or mention the four pillars of health. One of them, and I think the main pillar, is nutrition, and then another pillar of health we could say is sleep. Sleep is extremely important as far as health is concerned, and sleep is one of those things that give people a lot of trouble. And then the other pillar, the third pillar of good health, is exercise. Exercise is also very, very important. I mean, people have to be moving around, and when you consider today that people are not moving around, even in the rural areas where you would expect that people would be moving a little more about, nowadays everybody is taking a border. So movement has become very reduced. Of course, also things like the television and all these things, people are sitting a lot of times and not moving not moving at all actually. So exercise is another pillar of good health. When I talk about exercise, or when we talk about exercise, we don't mean those exercises, where you're killing yourself, where it is painful. No, not that kind of exercise. I think that when we come to explain that pillar, we will go deeper into it. And then the fourth pillar of health, of good health, is stress-free. Did we say stress-free? Or how did we put it?
You can call it maybe stress management.
Stress management.
Yeah,
but although I like better, I think stress-free.
Stress-free. Freedom from stress.
Freedom, exactly. Freedom from stress, living a life that is not, that doesn't have stress. Now, I know that in this day and age, talking about living a stress-free life sounds like, it's a bit hard to live a stress-free life. But then I think it is maybe because we are not even aware that we're living a life filled with stress. We are on what is called the rat race. Yeah, so those four we could say are the pillars of good health: nutrition, sleep, exercise, and stress-free life. And today, over the coming weeks, we will dwell on each one of them. And today, thought it would just be good to talk about one of them, or to focus on one of them, nutrition. Of course, nutrition is the thing that I'm very passionate about. I believe in the others as well, but nutrition, I would say, carries 80% of the weight of good health.
Mm-hmm. And I know you mentioned a lot that the 4 are very interrelated.
Yes,
yeah?
the 4 are very interrelated. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
they are very, very interrelated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we just focus on
Okay,
one.
that's a good one.
We focus on nutrition, which is, by the way, this one session of 10 minutes talking about nutrition, or 15 minutes talking about nutrition.
No, we'll unpack it more and more. But
Okay.
maybe what you'd have for the 10 minutes today.
Yeah.
And then over time,
Yeah.
we can talk a little more about nutrition.
Right.
Yeah.
What we can say about nutrition, first of all, I think that nutrition, we can say, is the food that we eat. That's the main thing, and the food that we eat or drink. That's the main thing about nutrition. As you know, there are different types of foods that we eat. In a nutshell, they are the ones that we call macronutrients. When you talk about macronutrients, we are talking about protein, and protein really is very important. We are talking about fat. Fat is also very important, and we are talking about carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates are not my favorite, as you know.
Yes, I know.
They're not my favorite.
That's why I'm smiling.
Yeah, carbohydrates are not my favorite.
Yeah.
And then we have what we call, or what are called micronutrients.
Yeah.
Now, with micronutrients, we are talking about vitamins. All the 13 vitamins that are there. And we are talking about minerals. We are talking about also something like fiber, even though fiber really is not a micronutrient. And I think also, basically when we are talking about micronutrients, we are talking about vitamins and minerals.
Okay.
And those are also very, very important. Of course, we can't forget water. We can't forget about water, because
Yes.
water is very, very necessary, very essential in nutrition. So basically, in a nutshell, this is, when we talk about nutrition, this is what we talk about.
Yeah, the proteins, carbohydrates, we have to mention them. They're
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And fats.
Fats.
Maybe fats
correct.
might need a bit of explanation when we talk about fats. Because
Yes.
it's not a very nice sounding word.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very nice, because fat is one of those things that has been demonized a lot. For many reasons. I guess perhaps in future we will be able to explain a little more about fats. But I think we could say that now we are not eating enough fats. As humans in the world, we are not eating enough fats. We are not eating enough fats, enough good fats. As a matter of fact, the fats that we are eating, the ones that we are told are heart healthy, are not really heart healthy. By heart healthy, I mean the ones we say, or we are told, are heart healthy, are vegetable oils. Vegetable oils are not healthy oils. They are not healthy fats, because mainly of the way, let's just put it this way: processed foods are not good foods.
Okay.
So processed foods, if you are talking about those vegetable oils, or we are talking about hydrogenated fats,
Okay.
these are not good things. The whole process of processing changes the food completely. So
If I could interrupt there, and
Yeah.
we go back to the different types of foods.
Mhm.
Would a good thumb of rule mean that
Rule of the thumb.
Rule of the thumb, thank
Yeah.
you, is to mean that you choose non-processed foods when you think about proteins.
yes,
Then
true.
when you think about carbohydrates,
Even when you think about carbohydrates, in fact, more when you think about carbohydrates,
Yeah.
is when you should think really non-processed, non-refined foods. Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So, and probably that's something we can live with as a first step to thinking about health, where those are the 4 types of, were they 4? There are three macros,
Yeah, 3
and
macros.
then the minerals and the vitamins,
Yeah, macros.
which are micros.
Yeah.
But I think when then choosing your foods with the macro,
yes, start with go for food that is not processed, food that is not processed, food that is not refined. It's not very easy because you see, processed food is convenient.
yeah, that's
You
the thing.
get into the supermarket, you grab something in the box, and you go. So it is convenient, and it stays longer. It stays for longer. So if you buy, for example, processed, if you buy, for example, processed processed flour, something like flour, or you buy snacks, that stuff keeps for long, as opposed to, for instance, if you buy fresh stuff for like vegetables, if you buy even sweet potatoes, for example, they don't keep for that long. You buy them and maybe in a week they have already started wilting, and therefore you see they don't keep long. So processed foods are convenient, they keep for longer, and somehow they are tastier. They are tastier to someone whose tongue is unschooled, unschooled in nutrition.
In nutrition,
they taste long. They taste. They are tastier. They seem to be tastier, and they are tastier because of the things they add. They have added food. Whatever they have added. For instance, some of them have added what is this thing called?
MSG. I know you talk about it a lot.
Yes, they have
he
added.
Talks a lot about that.
Yeah,
MSG.
they have it. Yeah. They have added MSG.
Yeah.
They have added things that make the food tastier. The food isn't actually tastier. It sounds, not sounds. It tastes. It feels like it is tastier, but it is not tastier. So this is the reason why we find refined foods, processed foods, they are very hard to get away from. But if the person who is watching this video, for example, just started by making this one resolution, that look, from now on I am going to try and reduce. You may not be able to cut out completely at once the amount of processed foods that you're eating, but you can decide to start cutting. I mean, even the milk, for example, instead of going for the milk that has been pasteurized and homogenized, and the nutrients have been removed, instead of going for that milk, you go for the raw milk. If you can get raw milk, and I think you can get raw milk, because they say
popular now. It is available nowadays.
It is available, and by raw milk here, and we are not talking about the milk that you get from an ATM. that is still not raw milk, because that milk has been pasteurized and homogenized. Yeah. If you can get raw milk, like for instance the one we get from around here, it's better milk. It's tastier, it's richer, and it is fresh, because possibly that milk was milked in the morning, so it is fresh. Well, the one you're getting from the packet, it's not usually very fresh, and they have done things to it. So that's one thing that we could say, that look, try and stay away as much as possible from processed foods.
Okay.
Right.
And I think that can be our takeout for this video. And I want to thank Bob, for agreeing to be here. I know there's a lot he has, and actually breaking it down into small bites will be one of our challenges. But you could help us by commenting on this video and saying what you'd like to hear more of. And hoping you'll be able to take charge of your health starting now with this video, and by just making that little shift, remove processed foods as much as you can and pick whole foods, starting with the milk, starting with meat instead of a sausage, starting with gouache instead of flour, all that, little changes, and you will see you'll already be on your way to better health. Thank you so much for watching. This is Irene Kinothia. Truly committed to being the cheerleader of your dreams. Dream it, build it, love it. Bye for now.